Hello, fellow crafters. It's Laura Barkman with LB Unleash Your Creativity, and I'm here with you today. I have pre-recorded this video, so I'm not here live. I will try to catch my own video live so that I can engage with your comments, but I am on vacation with my family, so we are spending some family time together, and I'm going to focus on that, but if I can join you, I will. Just depends on what we're doing this particular day. So these videos are pre-recorded. There is a series of 3, and we are going to be using the Splendid Thoughts stamp set and matching dies, and I'm going to walk you through some of the card projects. There was another 3D project for a bag, which if anybody is interested, I can walk you through when I get back. But I'm going to walk you through the projects for the cards that were done at the Creativity Now session for demonstrators. So I thought that would be a great opportunity to share some of the behind the scenes of what we do if we're a demonstrator. And if you're watching and you are a demonstrator and you caught this, well, this is an opportunity to make another one of those cards along with me. If you are a demonstrator and you didn't catch it, you get to see what you missed, or at least a portion of what you missed, because there are some things I definitely cannot recapture. We got sneak peeks at some of the suites that are in the July to December mini occasions catalog. Creativity Now was in June, so it was pre-catalog release that we got those little sneak peeks. So that was pretty fun. But if you missed it, you're going to get to see a few things in this series of videos since over the next 3 weeks, and we'll just see where it goes from there. So I'm going to start off by just showing you some of the beautiful papers that are in this particular collection. And they are foils, so my apologies if you see reflections of my various lights or even my own image in the paper. I know it's distracting, but I'll try to tilt them so that you can see. So these foils have been done in different colors than we normally offer. And if you pardon me just a moment, I'm going to grab the package so I can tell you what colors these are. So this one here is, I believe this is a Sahara Sand one, and I just love the little bee details that is in this particular paper. It's got beautiful design at the edge, both top and bottom, so you could cut this down the middle and create beautiful card fronts with just this paper alone. The reverse side of each of these foils is a matte version, and this is the soft seafoam with those lovely little palm fronds in the background. So that is foil 1. Foil 2, let's see if I can get the light on here again. Okay, there we go, is this one here. This one, while it doesn't come through on the video, it is in a beautiful, I believe this is the Petal Pink one. Regardless, the color on here is absolutely beautiful. What is this? No, I don't think this is Petal Pink. I'm not sure which color this one is. I think it is Petal Pink. I'm changing my mind. All right. Anyway, this again has that same imaging at the bottom and the top, so you could cut this in half and make card fronts with it. It's absolutely stunning. This is the page that a gift bag was made out of. So, like I said, if that's something you would like to see, we could definitely do that. And on the back is this beautiful image. This one is in Calypso Coral. The matte images are far easier to tell, although you can't really tell that color coming through on the camera, but the matte images, from my perspective, are far easier to pick out than the foil ones. This one here, though, is Fresh Freesia, which is one of the in colors that will be leaving the line in 2023. It is one of my favorites, so I will be so sad to see this one go, but I love that they made it into foil paper. It's absolutely stunning. And there is Fresh Freesia on the back side. This one here is, I'm not sure, maybe Sahara Sand. I think this one's Sahara Sand. Little floral designs on it. Let's see if I can get it really nicely captured there for you. And then on the back we have a Sahara Sand design, and I'm seeing a pattern here. So I think whatever is on the back is what the color on the front is, but I'll leave it to you to decide once you see these foils in person, because I know after you see them, you are going to order them. Now, this one is actually my favorite foil in the whole package. For one, you get to play hide and seek in it because there are little ladybugs. Let's see if I can find one in here, the video here for you. And there's one there and there's one over here. They don't come through super nicely. And again, the color isn't coming through really well because of my lighting, but this is one of my favorites. It's actually sort of a matte foil, so it's not as shiny as the rest of them, and I love this one. The backside is also soft. It looks like bouquet dots, but it's actually leaves in the background there. But I can just see that I think I might mix this with the Kindest Gnomes stamp set that I was working with in the last couple of weeks of July, and I thought that was super fun. This one here is your floral pattern. It's super pretty and very nicely repetitive. And then on the back, we've got a Calypso Coral leaf pattern on there. So those are the foils that come in this package. And the coordinating colors are, of course, Calypso Coral, Copper, Fresh Freesia, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Sahara Sand, and Soft Sea Foam. So those are absolutely stunning. In the suite also are these dies that match. I'm missing one because I had it out for a project. There's the dies that match the stamp set, and then somewhere on my desk is the beautiful seafoam ribbon that goes with it. So we're going to be using all of these things today and through the next 3 weeks while we go through the products in this design suite. And I can see my camera is so blurry. Just a moment, I'm going to pause the recording and see if I can fix that. Alright, I'm not really sure that fixed anything, but I'm going to keep going and we will see exactly how things go here in a moment. So hopefully you can at least see well enough. If not, I apologize. I'm not sure why it's blurry today, but we're going to keep going. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm actually going to show you a card, the first card that I made with this set, which was one of the Creativity Now. And I cannot give credit to the person who designed these cards because I'm working off the tutorials from the Creativity Now sessions, and they don't have the designer on here. So I am going to go back and in the notes from the presentation, you should find the name of the demonstrator who presented it. So I assume that they also designed the card, but we shall see. That's the only credit I can give. So that's the first one that I did. Absolutely loved it. The next one that we are doing is going to be working with these pieces that I have pre-cut here. And our first step is going to take our brick and mortar embossing folder and our big stamp and cut emboss machine, which I know becomes super large for you guys on screen. And I'm just getting my sandwich built here, so I'm going to use, I'll go through this way, I'll go backwards. I'm going to use that base platform. I am also going to put in our piece of Calypso Coral, and I can give you the measurements for each of these pieces in the comments for the videos as well. So don't worry about that at the moment. It should be there for you to see before you get to watch the video, but not before I'm talking about the video. All right, so I'm just going to run that through, and I have the embossing plate for 3D folders on top. So running that through there and I'm just going to close this one up and put him aside. Okay. And pull these guys back out. Alright, so then I'm going to pull out just a piece of scratch paper that I have because what I'm going to do next is take a little piece of this Whisper White ink and maybe my camera. Where did I do it? Let's try it. Is that any better? Not really. Okay. I've got my embossed piece of paper here. I have a white, I know this isn't a snapping up blending brush. The Stampin' Up! Ones are wonderful. I have a whole bin of them. I know you've seen me use them in other videos. This particular one I did have started prior to using, or prior to Stampin' Up! Carrying blending brushes, so I didn't replace it. Why waste a good product? So I'm just going to continue using it. And with that, I'm just going to pick up a little bit of my Whisper white ink, which is always super juicy. And I'm just going to go over the raised portion. See, that's a lot. That's a lot of ink. I didn't mean to go quite that much ink on there. That's okay. I'm just going over the raised bricks. I just want to give them a little bit of dimension. And mine are certainly going to have far more white on them than the original card does. But let's see if I can blend some of that out a little bit. I know my white ink is super juicy. I probably should have dabbed it off first, because these ones in the middle, I can't necessarily go off the card and start there. Try this on your own folders, and you will see such a huge difference in the dimension that you can create with your embossing folders. I'm just trying to pull some of the ink that's on that one that really got inked over here, and blend it in a little bit. I don't have to worry too much about the ones in the center of the card. They are going to be hidden by the design of the card, and I have the design. If you see me pop my hand in the screen there, it's because I am keeping my iPad alive while it helps me out by showing me an image of the card that we're recreating. Of course, I cannot share the tutorials and other things like that were provided during Creativity Now, but I can definitely share the project. So that's what we're doing. I thought these were just absolutely stunning. So there's our background. Now, craft white ink does take a while to dry, so I'm just going to put this aside and let that dry while we work on the rest of the pieces in this sheet. Oh, I didn't grab blocks. Blocks are a good thing when you're going to be stamping, which is what we're going to do next. We are going to pull over a couple of things. We need this big bronze stamp. These are actually all types of eucalyptus. I had no idea that there were different types of eucalyptus. I only ever recognized this as eucalyptus, but during the Creativity Now, they did share that this was it was $1 million design, and it was all types of eucalyptus, and the $1 million seller, she loved eucalyptus, so this was actually a really good fit for them. And I have the totally wrong stamp out here. I want the line drawings, not the fill. So this stamp set has a couple of features to it. One is the line drawings that we are using on this particular card. And then another feature, I might need a bigger block. Block students use H. Some H. That'll work. Sorry, I was saying the line drawings are these two here, and then you have the watercolor fill that have that dimension in there, so it makes a super pretty card. We are going to take our piece of soft seafoam and this piece of Petal Pink, which I almost never use Petal Pink, so it's kind of a treat to use it. And I realize it's something I need to order. So I'm going to be doing that, and hopefully it'll arrive while I'm on vacation. But if you need to order something while I'm away, I do have a host code here for you. Just in case you can't see it, I will put it in the description for this video. So you can always go back to that and have a peek at it. But that is the host code that I am using this month. And it will be valid for you to participate in the September. So these videos are being posted in August, but in September of 2022, I have my next card club. We did take a hiatus for the month of August so that people can enjoy their summer vacations, and I'm returning in September, and we are going to be using the Kindest Gnome stamp set. So if you place a $35 order of anything, you qualify for that Kindest Gnome stamp set, our stamp set class. I give you all the supplies you need to make 6 cards using that kit, and it is up to you to either use that kit or substitute it for others. And yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what you can do. Okay, so now I'm going to take this little piece here, and I'm going to, I think this is where this goes. And it's kind of small on there. One moment, I just want to check the instructions. Okay, so we've blended, we've stamped. Where are we stamping the hugs? Kind of semi shape. Okay, so on using the rest. So we'll do this one after. So the first thing I'm going to do is I think I'm going to pull in my mini cut and emboss machine, and I will see if I can get this paper going to go through here. I know that one well. This one, that one is skinny enough as well. So we'll use that with my sandwiches here. So first thing we're going to do is cut out, I'm going to go this way, hang part of that off. Where are my dies? Dies are over here. We're going to cut that guy out. And then because I still have room on my tray, I like cutting as much out in one shot as possible. So we're also going to cut this eucalyptus that we stamped on the Petal Pink. And what else can I cut out here? I think that might be it. Let's start with those two. Well, actually, there is, I seem to have misplaced the little piece of foil. I don't know where it's gone. Okay, we'll take a look for that as soon as I move my machine here. So you can use washi tape if you are wanting to ensure your die doesn't move like mine just did. But I caught it before I'm cutting it out, so hopefully it doesn't move on me again. It totally did because I banged the platform. And I'm just being stubborn by not finding myself some tape here. Washi tape or other low tack tape to get this in place, but okay. Carefully put layer 2 on so that nothing moves. I think I got it. And now we're going to maybe get this to go through my cut and emboss machine. There we go. My little one's been giving me a little bit of trouble, but I find if I start it at a light angle, very, very slight angle, and don't have my plates completely squared up, then I do get a better cut. Okay, so still seem to be missing a piece of paper here. Maybe I forgot to cut it. Alright, putting those aside. I either forgot to cut it or I cut it and have since misplaced it. So I'll grab one of those in a moment. But we also need to cut. Alright, so we've cut the leafy form and we've cut. There we go. And we've cut that eucalyptus. And we now need to cut additional leaves from the 3.5 Oh, that's fabulous. Yeah, and that just fits on here. Okay, so on here, we are going to cut what leaves from here. We need definitely one of these guys, one of these guys, one of these guys, looks like we need two of those ones, so we'll have to put another one. Okay, so I'm going to change these around so we are using the most efficient spacing possible while still keeping them all on the platform. I'm going to sandwich those down. I mean, because they're not covering a stamped image, it doesn't matter to me if they move around just a little bit. They just need to come out cut. So we're going to cut all of those, and then I'm definitely missing a piece of designer series paper. So I'm going to cut that and the other. Oh, I should have gone through twice. I think this is the only one that's ready to pop out. Nope. Okay, instead of doing it this way, let's bring in the big boss again. Just one of my printers better with this machine. I'm having a little bit of trouble with the smaller one. And I'm going to use my magnetic platform this time because now I have these pieces partially cut and I need to finish cutting them. So I can do that. They will just kind of lock into the indentation that has been formed by that first cut. And there's my last. So if I run it through again, I know these will all come out. We won't have the problem that I'm having right now. Okay, so I'm going to go forward. And I'm just going to come back through. And now, my piece is stuck to my platform. Let's just pull those off quickly. Alright, so there is one. That over there. Here is the second one. And, oh, okay. This one got a little mushed, but it's not all going to be visible, so I'm going to be able to hide that leaf that got mushed. So that's okay, and I need another one of those images. And then, okay, so I'm going to take this paper, push that through. We need another one of these. These ones here. I'm just going to cut the second one. And then I'm missing some designer series paper. I should have a little scrap of the one I'm looking for. Give me a moment to grab that. I hope I have a scrap of it here. What's on the back of this one here? I'm sure I could use this. Alright, just a moment, I'm going to pause. Alright, I found the piece. I had previously cut it like I thought. I just tossed it back in the bag. So we're going to put it on here. This is the little half moon die, and I really love the way that they've got some stitching on it, but it doesn't go all the way around, so it gives it a really cool effect. And we are going to cut that one out as well. I think that will be all the pieces that we need to cut out. And plate to go on top of this. And I'm just going to roll that through a couple of times to make sure that my cuts are complete. So there's once, and then roll it back through. All right. Moving that big shot out of the way. Cut and emboss machine, rather. I need to get used to the more generic term. Just have a little spatula here on my work desk, and I will take care of those a little bit later because we are done die cutting for the moment. The last thing we need to do is use this paper, and I'm going to stamp this sending hugs on here. Load that image up, and I'm going to just stamp that down in this corner. And what we're going to do is fussy cut it. So it didn't have to be perfect, which is great because I can see that it isn't. Pardon me, my throat is getting dry. So bringing this up to the camera, I am just going to start fussy cutting around the sending hugs. And I'm sure you have all heard me say this many times before. I was never a fussy cut fan until I learned this trick of moving the paper and not the scissors. As a child, we learned to move our scissors around. But if you are watching what I am doing really closely, oh, that did not corner like I wanted it to. Just a moment. I am moving the paper, not the scissors, which is giving me a beautiful swooping edge to all of these pieces. I'm not going to have any sharp corners as long as I move the paper. So there is my little sending hugs. Gonna move my both that strap and the backing from the dies. I'm just gonna throw the dies over there so that I can pick them up later. And I'm gonna pull in my card base. So this is just made out of a piece of thick cardstock, and it is the normal 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Fold that in half and make sure that it is nicely pressed with my bone folding tool. Going to bring my little brick background back in, and what I am going to do is build this first before I actually put I'm going to build the front of my, what am I trying to say? I'm going to build the front of my card front before I actually attach it. So I'm also going to use some dimensional as well as liquid glue and just give some dimension to some of these pieces as we are attaching them. So let's just start by maybe dry mounting them on here so that I can figure where I want the pieces. I think I'm going to do something like that. Set of bricks. So moving this stuff out of the way, I'm going to grab my ribbon and I think this card used 7 inches of ribbon, if I remember correctly, is what they recommended for it. That is not what I wanted. I wanted measurements. And this one is, it's saying 20. I know I don't need 20 because I am sure they've wrapped it all the way around the card, and I'm just going to wrap it partway around the card. So I'm going to do 12 inches just to give myself a little bit of extra. But I don't like wasting ribbon, so I try to be very thrifty. And I will show you a trick to be super thrifty. So to do this, I just need some glue dots. Pull those out of my bag. And I'm going to take a glue dot on one side of this beautiful ribbon. Okay, and I wanted this to line up with the 4th row from the bottom. So I'm going to make sure that when I put it down here, that's what's happening. It's lined up with that 4th row. Then I'm going to take the other end of my ribbon and I'm going to attach that to the other side of the card, still in line with that 4th row. So I just like pulling my ribbon a little bit, taut, and holding it in place and then turning it over and lining it up on the back. So now I have this large loop here. I want my ribbon to finish approximately there. So now I'm going to take my scissors, cut that loop in half. I'm going to tie a knot and I'm going to try something. Now normally I would normally put a glue dot here to hold that down nice and flat and in the exact spot that I want that bow to fall. But I saw a trick when I was doing this creativity now that I thought I would try and share with you. So I have a piece or a pair of reverse tweezers. These are not Stampin' Up. We do have Stampin' Up ones available now. I have not ordered them yet. These are ones that I have had for years from another crafting company. So I'm going to put them to hold that knot in place. So they are like my third hand that we've not quite yet evolved to have. And then I can use both hands to very carefully tie myself a little bow. So now the bow is exactly where I want it, and I just need to fuss with tightening it up like I want it to be. And I know I'm pulling the wrong part of the bow, and that's why my tail keeps disappearing over there. Oh, there we go. All right, I'm going to get those tongs or those tweezers out of there and pull that nice and tight. I'm just going to make adjustments to the size of my loops by pulling the tails a little bit. And clearly, I want to move that tail around just slightly. And then what I can do is I have ribbon scissors. Again, Stampin' Up used to carry these. They don't anymore. If you have some, oh, I cut that crooked just a second. I can't talk and cut here. Oh, okay. Well, I'm running out of ribbon to straighten this out, so this is going to have to be the last attempt. There we go. It's nice and straight. What I was saying is if you get some paper snips and you keep one pair for cutting paper and one pair for cutting ribbon only, it will do the same thing. But my paper snips have used paper or have cut paper, so they are not as sharp as they should be. So the next thing I'm going to do is lay down, find my large dimensionals, which are sticking to something else. It's okay, I'll take those both out. I'm going to use large dimensionals on the back of this little half moon. And I'm going to put that down. These two pieces for spacings. They're going to go about there. I want this to go approximately right there. All right. That's going to allow me to tuck things. And what I'm going to do here, if you get it caught, I'm going to adhere the pom fronds down flat, and I'm just going to stick to putting glue strictly down the stem and right down the center because I know I'm going to want to tuck in some of those loose open, these ones, behind this leaf. So I'm going to leave that a little open. Find somewhere I can stick it behind. And flip it straight. So unfortunately that dimensional is kind of right where I wanted this to be, but that's okay. I can work with it. Looks like I should have stuck this down first if I wanted an exact placement, but that's okay. So now what I'm going to do is I know I can mount this behind that leaf, and I definitely want to get it in there and hide that little piece that came off. I also want one of these down there as well. Pretty much like that. Sideways, perhaps. There we go. Okay, like that is what I'm going to want. So knowing that that's what I want, I'm going to add just a little bit of glue to the back of those. I'm going to keep them together. They're crisscrossing right about here. Just going to put a touch of glue. They're not going to need much. And then I can just up them, slide them, and put them back in. Just from that to be about like that. Okay. And then this one, I'm going to want to put it out there. With this going because I want it coming over that line. And like that. And this one is going to come out down that way. Okay, so where are those coming out? Okay, so let's just take this little glue on the front because it's going to stick to the greenery, the green piece and soft seafoam, and I'm going to also add some to the back just to get it nicely adhered. This one, I'm just going to stick some right on this light piece here. And then I'm going to make sure, okay, so that one go there. Then I can make sure when I lay this down, because I'm going to put this one up with dimensionals, that it's going to have dimensionals just to add some extra security to those pieces. And for this one, I'm going to use the little dimensionals. So where did I need one? I need one at the corner of this leaf here. Whoops. And okay, probably this corner here. And then I'm just going to put one at the top. And throw this one at the bottom. Alright, peel the backings off. My goodness, it got really blurry. I need to try to fix that before I record the next video. Sorry guys. If you're watching and you're having patience, I appreciate it so much. I'm not sure why this is blurry. I'm not even streaming it. I am just videotaping it. So it's a little frustrating. But I will figure it out. And one day we won't have these. Alright, that little sending hugs that I had cut out is going to be dimensional. And put, these are having a hard time gripping him. I'm going to put him right there. Okay. Then I'm going to just turn this over. I'm going to use dimensionals to attach it to my card base. So we really only have 2 layers of dimensionals. I guess we have 3 because I just dimensioned. So we've got 1, 2, and then the card base itself would be 3. But you should still be able to nail this with no extra shipping costs. right? But I wouldn't go more than 3 if you're looking to mail your cards. Okay, that is going on like that. And then you know what we're going to add to this? I have, and mine are on the old style. That's how long I've had these. I keep pearls and like the basic pearls and the basic rhinestones in stock. I just always make sure I have a couple of packages at least because I use them so often. So I'm going to pull these ones out and take my take a pick tool. I'm going to put one of the large ones. More putty, that's what my problem is there. Oh, I'm at the end of my putty. Okay, I've got to make sure that's on my order next time. So one of those is going to go there, and another large one is going to go over here. Lift it up. Hopefully the camera's going to pick that up for you. Isn't that gorgeous? I love this card. And I have to say, Calypso Coral is not a color that I would generally go for using. So I love that this took me out of my comfort zone. I hope that you all enjoyed this card as well. And I am looking forward to our next one, which I'm going to record in just a few minutes, but you aren't going to see for another week. So remember, we are still going to be working on the Splendid Thoughts stamp set and die cuts, and we're going to be using that beautiful, beautiful designer series paper. So until next week, friends, I hope you keep crafting and enjoy the summertime air while you can, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Have a great day.